Americans, time to clean house. Clean out the privileges and perks. Clean out the arrogance and big egos. Clean out the scandals.
Trump found guilty on all 34 criminal charges against him.
Beware the temptation of pride.
I am the chosen one.
Don't let anyone tell you that America's best days are behind her.
The American dream is dead.
There are people who try to will freedom away. They try to legislate it away.
I got rid of Roe v. Wade.
That's what tyranny is.
He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one.
Regimes planted by bayonets do not take root. Armed aggression must not succeed.
If I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath.
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy.
Whatever he does, he accuses everyone else of doing. The man cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist. A narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever seen.
And my concern is that he would grab up that power and really treat the country as sort of his little bully fiefdom.
Donald Trump is everything I taught my children not to do in kindergarten.
He's been exploiting working Americans for 40 years.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
He says he's for the little guy, but he's actually built a lot of his businesses on the backs of the little guy.
You know, Donald Trump the other day said that, quote, if he tells a soldier to commit a war crime, the soldier will just go do it.
And I don't think Donald Trump has even read the Constitution, knows what's in the Constitution.
A toxic mix of demagoguery and mean-spiritedness and nonsense.
I just cannot support Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is a delusional narcissist and an orange-faced windbag.
Donald Trump is a con artist.
He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth.
I think he's a kook. I think he's crazy. I think he's unfit for office.
Do you think he's a fascist?
Well, he certainly falls into the general definition of a fascist. It's a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader. The former president, certainly an authoritarian, using the military to go after American citizens is a very, very bad thing. He admires people who are dictators. He commented more than once that Hitler did some good things, too.
If he was left to his own devices, would he be a dictator if he didn't have people around him?
Oh, I think he'd love to be.
When somebody's the president, the authority is total.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Been a week, huh? Anyway, yeah, so you may notice that it's been, or it's not the usual time that we're doing this, as if there is a usual time that we do this. Kind of been dropping the ball on sticking to a schedule with these things lately, but I guess that leads me to my first announcement here. Starting next week, we're going to be switching things up. The new live stream's regular time is going to be 11 p.m. because that seems to be roughly around the time of day my internet works best, and the live streams are the least glitchy, so not exactly by choice, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do, and, yeah, I don't know. We'll see if that helps with things. And then, next announcement here, oh yeah, From now on, okay, so yeah, all the people sent in emails. I'm not ignoring your emails. It was it was a bit of a busy week, if you hadn't noticed. So I'll get to your emails. I have them all. Put them all aside. I'm gonna get to them. Don't worry. But rather than doing them like every stream, what I'm gonna do now is we're only gonna be answering emails during the just hanging out live streams and or on the slow news days where there's not a whole hell of a lot going on, or I haven't had time to set up a proper news stream. Then we'll fill some time, answer some emails, see what you guys are thinking, what you guys want to talk about. Cool. What else we got here? Might do a live stream tomorrow. Well, today is tomorrow, so I guess we're already doing that, and that's it for the announcements. So yeah, now let's get into the news. Now, this is not going to be the most up-to-date news. This is stuff I've been working on over the last couple weeks that just didn't have time to get to with all the election BS going on. Although, if I had gotten to it, it may have... who am I kidding? It wouldn't have affected the outcome, but, may have swayed a couple people to change their votes, but guess we'll never know now. But, yeah, let's just get into the news. See what we got here. Where do we want to start? Oh, you know what? Hey, I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of these over the next 4 years or so. So let's start off with a good old-fashioned I told you so. So you might remember from my video a few weeks ago about Trump's many lies regarding FEMA and Hurricane Helene that towards the end of the video I made the observation that the orange doofus's lies seem to be radicalizing his brain-dead base more than usual.
Boy, if you still support this administration after what they're doing for the hurricane victims, you're a piece of fucking shit. I'm telling you what, man, it's time for this country to rise up, invoke our Second Amendment for what our forefathers intended it to be. I'm telling you, man, being tolerant of this fucking bullshit is what got us to this damn point. I tell you what.
And you know how much I love a good I told you so. Well, unfortunately, last week, it came in the form of Trump's stupid lies reaching their inevitable stupid conclusion when law enforcement in North Carolina received multiple unsubstantiated reports of truckloads of armed militia hunting FEMA personnel.
This morning, growing safety fears for government workers in western North Carolina, supporting ongoing recovery efforts from Hurricane Helene. According to the Washington Post, an urgent message was sent to numerous federal agencies on Saturday, warning FEMA has advised all federal responders in Rutherford County, North Carolina, to stand down and evacuate the county immediately, adding that National Guard troops had come across trucks of armed militia, saying they were out hunting FEMA. NBC News has not seen the email cited by the Post, and it's unclear whether the threat mentioned was seen as credible. North Carolina Republican Congressman Chuck Edwards addressing the reported threats on MSNBC.
We had 2 counties with folks reported with different militia groups attacking and threatening FEMA.
In a statement to NBC News, FEMA writing in part, "For the safety of our dedicated staff and disaster survivors we are helping, FEMA has made some operational adjustments." According to the agency, disaster recovery centers remained open, but at least 2 counties said FEMA staff would not appear at other planned locations Sunday, with officials in Ashe County saying the agency had paused their process as a precaution as they are assessing the threats. That included a temporary halt on accepting some aid applications. The heightened tension with FEMA's response to Helene has been fueled in recent days by misinformation, amplified in part by former President Trump.
Kamala spent all her FEMA money, billions of dollars, on housing for illegal migrants.
The head of FEMA calling those claims categorically false and promising that the agency's work will not stop.
It doesn't deter us. We know what our mission is.
Asheville business owners like William Disson say it's a distraction and that more help is needed.
I want folks to know that the government is here, they're helping. I know we'd all like it to be a little faster, but also realizing that the devastation is just so vast and so immense that, it's going to take time.
And getting access to clean running water in the area is still a priority, with tens of thousands of residents in western North Carolina still having no access to it. Meanwhile, FEMA says that they will be back at those affected locations that happened over the weekend due to those reported threats.
While officials had warned about the threat of truckloads of militia potentially targeting relief workers, the sheriff's office did not find evidence for those claims. But although there thankfully may not have been truckloads of morons roaming around hunting FEMA, there was at least one dipshit besides Trump that decided to take it upon himself to make an already bad situation worse. North Carolina authorities arrest armed man after threats against FEMA workers. William Jacob Parsons, 44, was arrested and charged with going armed to the terror of the public, a misdemeanor, Captain Jamie Keever said in a news release issued Monday. Parsons was armed with a handgun and a rifle, Keever said. The sheriff's office began investigating Saturday after receiving calls that a man made the comment about possibly harming FEMA employees working after the disaster of Hurricane Helene in Lake Lure and Chimney Rock area. Parsons was found later that day after investigators received information about the color and license plates of his vehicle. According to the sheriff's office, Parsons was arrested in his car outside a grocery store that is functioning as a storm relief. Parsons is now free on $10,000 secure bond. I've gotta love how they just let that crazy asshole out. So yeah, just another example of Trump not giving a rat's ass about who gets hurt or killed as a result of his brain-dead base. Wait, what? Jeez. Bear with me, guys. It's early in the morning. So yeah, just another example of Trump not giving a rat's ass about who gets hurt or killed as a result of his brain-dead base believing his BS. Which reminds me, remember how MAGA was pretending to be all outraged when Trump lied and said that Biden and Kamala were withholding money from red states affected by the hurricane? Well, here he was just a few weeks ago threatening to withhold aid to California for wildfire relief again. And you'll notice that the maggots in the crowd don't seem too outraged by it.
Force it down his throat, and we'll say, Gavin, if you don't do it, we're not giving you any of that fire money that we send you all the time for all the forest fires that you have. It's not.
Must be a strange way to go through life, constantly having to completely reverse your opinions on things from one week to the next just to support all the crazy shit your cult leader says. And in what should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody, it's now been revealed that Russia played a big role in spreading the disinformation surrounding FEMA after Hurricanes Helene and Milton. Russia leveraged hurricane disinformation to deepen U.S. divisions. Driving the news, the disinformation was spread largely unchecked on social media by Russian state media accounts and pro-Kremlin networks, according to the new analysis from the Institute for Strategic Dialogue. The misleading post advanced several divisive narratives, including using U.S. support for Ukraine to paint the government as prioritizing Ukrainians over Americans. The campaign also sought to portray the Biden administration as incompetent or corrupt, and FEMA as unable to provide adequate assistance because of the government's purported support for immigrants. While Russian sources helped promote these narratives, they often originated from U.S. domestic sources, including public figures like Elon Musk and former President Trump. So yeah, speaking of Musk and Trump, I guess we'll do that story next. Musk somehow gets worse. So almost immediately after Musk came out of the closet as Dork MAGA at a Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, which produced some of the cringiest pictures the world has ever seen. Let's look at that creepy little shit. Jesus. How the fuck is that guy the richest guy in the world? He then scurried back to LA to debut a prototype for his long-awaited self-driving taxi, which went over about as well as anybody who's actually been paying attention to this bumbling Tony Stark wannabe over the last decade would have expected. See if you can spot where he launched his stupid robo-taxi. I know it's hard to see here. There's, a lot of dips and dives. Oh, maybe that's it there. That straight line down. Tesla's value dropped $60 billion after investors failed to hail self-driving cybercab. But just because the investors are, bear with me guys, it's early in the morning here. But just because the investors weren't buying what Musk was shoveling doesn't mean nobody was impressed by it. As seen in multiple videos from the event, the usual pea-brain simps who worship their stuttery billionaire overlord were absolutely blown away by this oversized toaster on wheels with a super practical half-inch worth of ground clearance.
Also, what happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y? The Robovan. The Robovan is, we're going to make this, and it's going to look like that. Now, can you imagine going down the streets and you see this coming towards you?
Can you imagine going down the street and seeing that ugly piece of shit? By the way, did you hear how he's pronouncing it? It's not Robovan, it's Robovan, like a medication for old people.
What happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y?
I don't think there is a more pathetic group of people on Earth than Elon simps. Holy shit. But on top of debuting his Robovan, capable of amazing feats like slowly puttering around only the smoothest of empty parking lots, Musk also revealed the Cybercab, a self-driving two-seater sedan, which apart from Musk apparently having so little faith in it that he felt the need to pray for dear life during the demonstration. Look at that ugly piece of shit. It also highlighted Elon's apparent obsession with designing vehicles suspiciously reminiscent of a DeLorean. You guys noticing any similarities there? Jesus Christ, such a hack. And butt-ugly impractical vehicles weren't the only thing Musk had in store for his gullible sycophants. He also trotted out his definitely super-duper not remote-controlled robots.
With arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2D.
The new Cybercab. Cybercab looks amazing. I know. I'm trying to get a ride. Dude, me too. And they're doing it directly. I mean, that's just Elon. He's a techno king.
But the fact that these so-called robots are just the same cheap animatronic crap that Disney World has been using for decades was quickly confirmed by one of Musk's clunky metal friends working behind the bar. The Optimus robots at Tesla's Cybercab event were humans in disguise.
I know this guy wants to go to Mars.
Yep, it's on my shirt.
What can I get you?
I'll have the watermelon too.
Watermelon? Coming right up.
So are you being remote controlled?
How's your night going, sir?
Good. I said, are you being remote controlled?
Today, I'm assisted by a human. I'm not yet fully autonomous.
Thank you.
Here you go, sir.
Got it.
But Elon Sims weren't the only ones blown away by this mediocre... You're blown away by my ability to fucking read this morning? But Elon Sims weren't the only ones blown away by this mediocre tech reveal, because iRobot director Alex Proyas was also impressed at how somebody could so blatantly rip off his designs, noting that every single thing at the demo was a carbon copy of Proyas' designs from the 2004 movie starring Will Smith, with Alex calling Musk out on Twitter, "Hey Elon, can I have my designs back, please?" Noticing any similarities there? Like, all of them? iRobot director accuses Elon Musk of copying designs for Tesla robot and vehicles. But maybe the reason Tesla has been such a raging dumpster fire lately is because Musk has been focusing all his energy on doing everything he can to try and throw the election for Trump. How Trump ally Elon Musk is using social media to prime voter mistrust ahead of the 2024 election. Elon Musk has used the social media platform he owns to amass nearly 3.3 billion views on X, fueling doubts about election security issues since January of this year, making the tech mogul one of the most viral voices on elections during the 2024 campaign. Musk has frequently shared conspiratorial narratives that have been vexing to public officials who are trying to maintain Americans' confidence in the election in the face of a barrage of misinformation and disinformation. And after setting up multiple political action committees that he's used to rapidly climb the ranks to the number 2 spot on the list of billionaires funneling money to Trump's campaign, who, by the way, between only 15 of them account for a whopping $614 million and counting. And considering this chart was made a few weeks ago, it's probably well over $800 million at this point. There he is, $118.6 million. And Musk has used his PACs in increasingly illegal ways, with it being revealed last week that one of Musk, Jesus Christ, take two. And Musk has been, yeah, so, I'm not going to be doing too many Saturday morning live streams, as you can tell. And Musk has used his PACs in increasingly illegal ways, with it being revealed last week that one of the PACs has been tricking people into canvassing for Trump and then shuttling them around in the back of U-Hauls. Workers say they were tricked and threatened as part of Elon Musk's Get Out the Vote effort. America PAC door knockers were flown to Michigan, driven in the back of a U-Haul, and told they'd have to pay and told they'd have to pay hotel bills unless they met unrealistic quotas. One was surprised they were working to elect Donald Trump. There they are in the back of the U-Haul. Oops, don't delete it. What's gonna happen is they're gonna stop paying for these rooms, a manager told the door knockers in an audio recording obtained by Wired, and then you're gonna end up having to pay for it yourself, and you can't do that with no money. The door knocker also alleges that they were told that they will have to pay for their own flight home. The video from inside the van shows a bumpy ride with a cage separating the mostly black door knockers from their driver. The driver also told a group of door knockers that he was in pain and had difficulty driving. "I just had surgery, bro," the U-Haul driver says in another recording obtained by Wired. "Like half my foot is cut off." "I'm scared," the door knocker who spoke to Wired replies in the recording. "And all the manager is concerned about is how many motherfucking doors the bitch got," the driver responds. And as if that wasn't bad enough, after the initial story about their work conditions leaked, over a dozen of the canvassers were fired and left stranded. Elon Musk's PAC fired and abandoned canvassers in Michigan who voiced concerns, report. Workers spoke out about unsafe working conditions, including being driven in the back of a U-Haul without seats or seatbelts. Canvassers for Elon Musk's America PAC say that they were flown to Michigan and told they had to meet unattainable quotas or risk paying for their own accommodations and travel home. They then were unceremoniously fired after some of them spoke to the press. The workers, many of whom are black, told Wired that Blitz Canvassing, a subcontractor from Musk's PAC, had them sign non-disclosure agreements and transported them to Michigan neighborhoods in the back of a U-Haul without seats or seatbelts. After Wired ran an initial story about their working conditions, the magazine reported that the subcontractor fired more than a dozen canvassers, leaving some without full compensation or transportation home. One door knocker told the magazine they did not know what they were signing up for. "I knew nothing of the job or much of the job description, other than going door to door and asking the voters who they were voting for," the unidentified worker said. Then, after I signed over an NDA, is when I found out we were Republicans and with Trump. But old Elon's recent ventures into the wonderful world of election interference have also brought him under increased scrutiny from law enforcement. Since after setting up a scheme where he encourages voters, specifically in swing states, to sign a petition to support the First and Second Amendments, in return for what initially started out as $47, which even then people said they didn't get after signing his stupid petition, and he quickly increased to $100 after the adult card game Cards Against Humanity started offering $100 to anyone who didn't vote in 2020 but goes out to vote this year as their own personal screw you to the billionaire. Elon Musk's PAC offers $47 payouts to refer swing state voters to sign petition. Where's my $47? Musk's petition deal leaves some voters in the dark. Cards Against Humanity launches election-themed game, $100 incentives to encourage voting. Elon Musk is offering Pennsylvania $100 to sign his Trump petition. Interesting how he raised it to exactly what Cards Against Humanity was offering. Musk then decided to set up a sketchy lottery where he claimed he would be giving away $1 million every day until the election to a random person that signed his petition, even though it seems that the payouts are far from random and appear to only be going to registered Republicans who had already voted, with some doubting the winners are real at all and suspecting them of being paid actors after one was revealed to be a popular YouTuber. Elon Musk offers $1 million a day to entice swing voters to sign petition. First recipients of Elon Musk-backed $1 million pro-Trump giveaway had already voted. The first winner of an Elon Musk-backed organization $1 million giveaway aimed at getting voters to cast their ballots for former President Trump were already registered as Republicans and had already voted prior to winning the money, according to a new report. The money isn't real. Elon Musk accused of using paid actors after $1 million giveaway winner revealed as popular millionaire YouTuber. But whether his little lottery is real or not, one thing that definitely is real is the lawsuit he was slapped with by the Pennsylvania District Attorney to put a stop to it.
We're breaking news. Philadelphia's district attorney is suing to stop Elon Musk's voter lottery. The richest man on planet Earth is a very public supporter of former President Trump. And through his America PAC, Musk has been giving away $1 million every day to a voter in a battleground state. The Department of Justice has warned that this giveaway might violate federal election law,
which Musk then tried to have moved to federal court and was equally quickly denied to, which Musk then quickly tried to have moved to federal court and was equally quickly denied by a federal judge. Musk tries to move case about $1 million voting sweepstakes to federal court, likely averting required appearance on Thursday. Elon Musk loses bid to move case over $1 million voter prizes. Meanwhile, as his lottery's little legal tug-of-war was playing out, Musk was quietly working away in the background, setting up another scheme. In this one, another one of Musk's PACs sent out deceptive mailers, text messages, and ads designed to look like they were coming from Kamala's campaign, but were filled with extreme policy positions and referenced a non-existent plan called Progress 2028, with the hope of scaring potential voters away from supporting her. This is exactly how an Elon Musk-funded PAC is micro-targeting Muslims and Jews with opposing messages. Elon Musk revealed to be funding fake Kamala Facebook ads full of false claims. Similar ads are being sent to potential voters via text message by the same group circulating them online. An Elon Musk-backed political group is posting fake Kamala ads on Facebook. There's one of the ads. Sure, you probably saw one of those floating around. And here's another one. Kamala Harris stands with Israel. She's sending that to like pro-Palestine people, and Two-Face Kamala Harris stands with Palestine, not our ally Israel. Sending those to Israeli voters. Since he's harvesting everybody's data, he knows who's who. An initiative called Progress 2028 that purports to be a Kamala Harris liberal counter to the Conservative Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 was actually run by a dark money network supporting former President Donald Trump. Building America's Future, the dark money group at the helm of the network, has steered money to a constellation of groups and initiatives boosting Trump's agenda and spreading messaging aimed at chipping away voters from Harris. The dark money group reportedly received over $100 million in funding from billionaire Elon Musk, along with other donors, the New York Times recently reported. The Progress 2028 site appears to be created by IMGE LLC, a firm run by Republican political operatives that the New York Times described as the hidden hand behind building America's future, and a page on the Progress 2028 site includes the firm's sizzle reel. IMGE LLC has also done work for Elon Musk's America PAC and several other Republican political action committees, including a super PAC funded by America's Future Fund named Future Coalition PAC, as first pointed out by Brendan Fisher, Deputy Executive Director of Documented and Investigated Watchdog and Journalistic Project. Progress 2028 has also started pouring money into digital advertising. Since October 11th, several digital ads on Facebook and Instagram have included the disclaimer paid for by Progress 2028, totaling over $36,000 in ad buys over just 5 days. While the ads appear to include pro-Harris messaging, they lean into contentious issues listed on the Progress 2028 site that have created friction among different divisions of the party. Let's remove barriers for undocumented immigrants who are undocumented. Undocumented immigrants who are undocumented? That seems kind of redundant. One ad states, adding access to affordable housing, driver's licenses, and fair wages creates a stronger America for everyone. Another ad reads, a national mandatory buyback program means fewer guns and fewer tragedies. Kamala Harris gets it. And there's one of the ads. Probably seen one of those floating around. And you'll notice here, paid for by, not authorized by any candidate or any candidate's committee. Gotta read the fine print on this shit. They literally say, yeah, just so that when they get sued, they can say, oh no, it says that it wasn't hers. You gotta read the fine print in the corner that's almost the exact same color as the background. Anyway, a scheme that legal experts online pointed out is clearly illegal and was actually prosecuted recently in the case of the United States versus Mackey, which coincidentally happens to be the same case I covered in my very first video on this channel. Title 18 U.S.C. 241 at the Justice Department, see U.S. vs. Mackey. Elon Musk fake sites and fake text impersonating the campaign, the Harris campaign. And there's my video on it from 10 months ago. Let's take a peek. Well, if it's a day that ends with Y, then it's another day where Orange Man is being a lying hypocrite about something. So what have you got for us today, dingus?
Crooked Joe and his henchmen have tried to shut down free speech with a massive government censorship operation to silence their critics. They're putting Douglas McKay in jail for sharing a joking meme about Hillary Clinton 7 years ago. Nobody ever heard of anything like that.
Ah, yes, the champion of free speech, who was only a month ago calling for the government to crack down on MSNBC for criticizing him, now thinks that government censorship ain't such a great idea after all. How convenient. But of course, if the oversized Oompa Loompa is the one calling it government censorship, then it's probably the exact opposite. So let's take a look at what he's actually whining about, shall we? The Verge reports that one of Mackey's tactics crossed a line when a week before the election, Mackey and others began encouraging supporters of Hillary Clinton to skip the voting lines and vote by text message. Which, to be clear, you cannot do. Voting by text is not a thing. They also posted photos made to look like they were paid for by Clinton's campaign of people holding signs with the same message and phone number. Mackey told conspirators that the goal was to suppress turnout among black voters and other minority groups. Quote, Trump should write off the black vote and just focus on depressing their turnout, he wrote in one of the groups used to plan content strategy. Roughly 4,900 people texted the number Mackey said they could use to vote. Kinda sounds a lot like that voter fraud stuff that Republicans are always complaining about but can't seem to stop doing. You know, like this guy, and this guy. Oh yeah, and all these f***ing guys. Noticing a pattern yet? Oh yeah, and about Trumpet's claim that Joe Biden is somehow responsible for this idiot getting what he deserves. Well, the investigation was actually started by Trump's own DOJ, and he was charged only 1 week into Biden's administration. So once again, it's nothing but more lies and hypocrisy from the smelliest turd to ever disgrace the Oval Office. Anyway, if you made it this far, why not help me out? And a South African billionaire meddling in a U.S. election raises obvious national security concerns, especially after it was revealed that Musk has been in regular contact with Vladimir Putin since 2022.
We've got some breaking news tonight. A new report says that Elon Musk, who's been campaigning for Donald Trump all over the country, he's also paying for Trump's ground game, has been having secret conversations with Vladimir Putin.
Elon Musk, the world's richest man and a linchpin of U.S. space efforts, has been in regular contact with Russian President Vladimir Putin since late 2022. The discussions, confirmed by several current and former U.S., European, and Russian officials, touch on personal topics, business, and geopolitical tensions. At one point, Putin asked the billionaire to avoid activating his Starlink satellite internet service over Taiwan as a favor to Chinese leader Xi Jinping, said two people briefed on the request. At the same time, the contacts also raised potential national security concerns among some in the current administration, given Putin's role as one of America's chief adversaries. Musk has forged deep business ties with U.S. military and intelligence agencies, giving him unique visibility into some of America's most sensitive space programs. SpaceX, which operates the Star. Oh my God, I can't fucking talk today. SpaceX, which operates the Starlink service, won a $1.8 billion classified contract in 2021, and is in the primary rocket launcher of the Pentagon, and oh my fucking God. Okay, take two. SpaceX, which operates the Starlink service, won a $1.8 billion classified contract in 2021 and is the primary rocket launcher for the Pentagon and NASA. Musk has a security clearance that allows him access to certain classified information. Knowledge of Musk's Kremlin contacts appears to be a close-held secret in government. Several White House officials said that they weren't aware of them. The topic is highly sensitive, given Musk's increasing involvement in the Trump campaign and the approaching U.S. presidential election less than 2 weeks away. And sudden fringe. Oh my God! Why can't I read this morning? Jesus. And this sudden friendship with Putin perfectly aligns with the timeline of Musk buying Twitter and immediately turning it into the internet's largest disinformation platform, as well as aligning with his own shift towards being a full-blown Trump supporter. With many of his posts about Ukraine that sounded almost as though they were drafted by Putin himself, now making a lot more sense. For Twitter to deserve 2022, for Twitter to deserve public trust, it must be politically neutral, which effectively means upsetting the far right and the far left equally. 2024, bouncing around behind Trump at his rally like an idiot. Ukraine-Russia peace. Redo elections of annexed regions under UN supervision. Russia leaves if it's the will of the people. Crimea, formerly part of Russia, as it has been since 1783 until Khrushchev's mistake. Water supply to Crimea assured. Ukraine remains neutral. Literally, like the exact same thing that Putin's asking for. Funny how that lines up. By the way, that tweet was from 2022. Thankfully, this connection hasn't gone unnoticed by the higher-ups in government, with NASA CEO Bill Nelson now calling for Musk to be investigated. NASA chief worried Musk may have shared sensitive national security info and calls to Putin. The SpaceX CEO has previously said while campaigning for Trump in Pennsylvania that he already has top-secret security clearance. Now, NASA administrator and former U.S. Senator from Florida, Bill Nelson, is calling for Musk's calls to Putin to be investigated, saying it's concerning that someone with access to national secrets is having regular private conversations with a foreign adversary. You're not gonna like who's going into the White House then. But that's not the only thing old Muskrat is under investigation for. After a recently resurfaced video went viral online of Elon's brother Kimball admitting that Elon started his first company working as an illegal immigrant, a crime that could quite possibly lose his citizenship. A crime that he could quite possibly lose his citizenship over. You know, if he wasn't the richest guy on earth.
When they did fund us, they realized that we were illegal immigrants.
Well, I mean,
yes, we were.
I'd say it's a gray area.
Yeah, yes, we were. We were illegal immigrants. We were illegal immigrants.
Elon Musk, enemy of open borders, launched his career working illegally. Long before he became one of Donald Trump's biggest donors and campaign surrogates, South African-born Elon Musk worked illegally in the United States as he launched his entrepreneurial career after ditching a graduate studies program in California, according to former business associates, court records, and company documents obtained by Washington Post. Elon Musk could have U.S. citizenship revoked if he lied on immigration forms. The richest man in the world appears to have worked in the U.S. without authorization. According to experts, if he did so and lied about it as part of the immigration process, he could be denaturalized. Spoiler alert, that's not going to happen. And now this illegal immigrant that's interfering in U.S. elections is starting to push false claims about voting machines to sow doubt in the election results in the event that Trump loses. Musk pushes debunked Dominion voting conspiracy theory at very first Pennsylvania appearance. Although he may want to rethink his choice of target, as Fox News found out the hard way, Dominion don't play. Fox, Dominion reached $787 million settlement over election claims. But it should also be noted that the world's richest douchebag has also basically admitted that he knows Trump's policies are garbage and would cripple the economy, since he said multiple times now that everyday Americans would have to live within their means if Trump were elected. Trump ally Elon Musk warns of necessary economic collapse if Trump elected.
We have to reduce spending to live within our means. That necessarily involves some temporary hardship, but it will ensure long-term prosperity.
Gotta love the fucking richest man on earth unironically saying that people are gonna have to live within their means. Yeah, easy for you to say, guy. And I can't be the only one that finds literally the richest man on earth telling people to live with their... Yeah, okay, literally just said that, but yeah. Look at these two lovebirds. And that's that. Alright, on to the next one. Who is the Black Insurrectionist? So, as they always do, Russia worked overtime lately to try and interfere with yet another U.S. election. You might remember a few months or so ago, I warned, ago is one word, god damn it, I gotta check the spelling on these things. Anyway, you might remember a few months or so ago, I warned you about a couple of viral videos, one where it was supposed to look like a white female Trump supporter was being attacked by two black Kamala supporters.
Drive from that direction. The car was rushing in the opposite lane.
Yeah, that super brutal attack where he love taps her foot. But everybody almost immediately called BS on that one because the acting was worse than what you see in most pornos. And then there was another one where a woman in a wheelchair claimed to have been left paralyzed after being hit by Kamala, who was supposedly driving drunk at the time. That's this guy over here, or gal over here.
And my mom reacted quickly and jumped back. She tugged my arm, but she was too late to save me. And the driver also hit the brakes,
But although these videos did manage to rack up several million views online, both of these stories were pretty quickly debunked, with US intelligence tracking their origins back to the usual suspects over in Russia. Russian election interference efforts focus on the Harris-Walz campaign. US intelligence says Russia created fake CA news site to fabricate Harris scandal. I guess I better get a good read of that. U.S. intelligence says Russia created fake CA news site to fabricate Harris scandal. Enter the Black Insurrectionist. And before you start calling me racist, just stick with me on this. It'll all make sense in a minute. So after the debate, where Trump finally unveiled the healthcare plan he's been working on for the last 8 years.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
Naturally, maggots started frantically tripping over themselves, making excuses for Trump's piss-poor performance, with most choosing to blame the moderators for fact-checking Trump's lies, rather than, blaming him for lying so much in the first place.
I'm disgusted. I'm ashamed of those moderators at ABC News.
But among the many whiny morons whimpering about ABC simply doing their jobs, one voice cried louder than the rest. A newly created Twitter account going by the name The Black Insurrectionist began claiming that an anonymous whistleblower at ABC had filed an affidavit in New York claiming to be in possession of secret recordings that proved that ABC News had rigged the presidential debate. There he is. So after providing a few screenshots of the supposed affidavit and claiming to have sent a copy to House Speaker Mike Johnson, the mega chos online did what they do best, took a completely unsubstantiated claim and spread it around as fact, with maggot-brained billionaire Bill Ackman reposting it to his 1.4 million followers. There's the affidavit there, and another screenshot of it. And the last page. And dipshit Bill Ackman. Dear Bob, I assume you have been made aware of this affidavit, which was made public earlier today, in which a whistleblower states that ABC worked closely with the Kamala Harris campaign in sharing the substance of the questions, avoiding certain topics, agreeing on the staging, committing to fact-check Donald Trump and not Harris, and more disturbing details. That dipshit has 1.4 million followers. But holes immediately started forming when people started noticing the many inconsistencies in the Black Insurrectionist story. For starters, Speaker Mike Johnson never received a copy of the affidavit, despite saying he had sent Johnson a copy of it. He then claimed he had filed a complaint with the SEC, despite the SEC handling markets and financial disclosures, not wild accusations about presidential debate rigging. He then pivoted to claiming that the FCC was investigating, but couldn't provide any evidence of that either. Nothing came of WB, I don't know what the fuck that is. I think you missed ABC not denying it. I think you missed them admitting that they pre-planned to fact-check Trump, and I think you missed the FCC investigation. What the fuck? So as the days went on and the 24-hour news cycle moved along, the ABC affidavit story faded away. But the damage had been done. Millions of people now believe that a major news network had rigged a debate against their presidential candidate, only widening an already deep divide between the mainstream media and Trump's base, and pushing them even further towards the right-wing propagandists that helped spread the lie in the first place. You guys going to try and rig the election like you did the debate, still waiting for a response to the whistleblower who called you out about that? Imagine being so vested in your boss that you actually believe an ABC poll, the same network that rigged a debate for her. Ed, you're one dumb motherfucker. Allegations are credible. ABC employees blow the whistle on debate being rigged. Alex Jones, the debate was totally rigged against Trump by ABC and everyone knows it. So as the weeks ticked by, the Black Insurrectionist kept a relatively low profile, only doing the usual MAGA shitposting. That is until one day in mid-October when he shared a video claiming to be one of Tim's... Wait, what? That is until one day in mid-October when he shared a video claiming to be one of Tim's former students. Oh my god, dude, I can't read today. That is until one day in mid-October when he shared a video claiming to be one of Tim Walz's former students named Matthew Metro, alleging that Walz had sexually abused him as a child.
My name is Matthew Metro. I'm a survivor of sexual assault. Over the past few years, we've seen many powerful men, even many celebrities, being held accountable for their sexual assaults. There's something I'd like to say to each and every survivor of sexual assault. I believe you. The people believe you. Over the past few years, we've seen many powerful men, even many celebrities, being held accountable.
But the video was quickly confirmed to be made with AI, with many people noticing the obvious differences between the teeth and the facial features on the man in the video and the pictures of the real Matthew Metro that they had found online.
For their sexual assault, and every survivor of sexual assault. For their
Voices. 3 detectors, substantial evidence, faces. 2 uncertain, semantic, little evidence. Notice the teeth on this guy. Notice the teeth on the real Matthew Metro. And there he is from his yearbook photo at the time he was one of Walls's students. So, if this was a fake Matthew Metro, why didn't the real Matthew Metro come out publicly to deny it? Well, after contacting one of Matthew's friends through social media, people discovered that the real Matthew Metro had recently become homeless, which explained why he hadn't realized his image was being used online, and likely why he'd been chosen to use for the lie in the first place. We saw he may be experiencing homelessness. Whoever chose him as their target did their research. Matthew is doing really well off the street, still looking for a permanent place. I help him weekly, so little goes a long way. That's great. Well, could you let him know that he is going viral on Twitter for pretty crazy reasons? Already on it, thanks. No, thank you. He might have grounds to file suit. So while people tried to track down the real Matthew Metro, the Black Insurrectionist chose to double down on the lie, posting a screenshot of an email that he claimed Matthew had sent him, despite the fact that the email appeared to be sent from himself. The date had an extra comma in it, and there was a cursor clearly visible in the text box. Sent from himself, weird extra comma, and cursor showing that he typed it up himself. So with his story rapidly unraveling before his very eyes, the Black Insurrectionist himself also began to unravel, seemingly getting frustrated and confessing that he had in fact faked the email before quickly deleting the post. I'll fake shit if I want to, you fucking commies need to be shut down. This post was deleted. A few days later, the US intelligence community confirmed that the fake Matthew Metro video had originated from Russia-aligned propaganda network that they had been monitoring called Storm 1516 that had also been behind the previous fake videos. Russian propaganda unit appears to be behind spread of false Tim Walz sexual abuse claims. The Russia-aligned network Storm 1516 has a long history of posting fake whistleblower videos, including deepfakes, to push Kremlin talking points. A Russian-aligned propaganda network notorious for creating deepfake whistleblower video appears to be behind a coordinated effort to promote wild and basic claims against Minnesota Governor and vice presidential candidate Tim Walz sexually assaulted, and baseless claims that, Minnesota Governor, take two. A Russian-aligned propaganda network notorious for creating deepfake whistleblower videos appears to be behind a coordinated effort to promote wild and baseless claims that Minnesota Governor and vice presidential candidate Tim Walz sexually assaulted one of his former students, according to several specialists tracking the disinformation campaign. Experts believe that the campaign is tied to a network called Storm 1516, which has been linked to, among other things, a previous effort that falsely claimed Vice President Kamala Harris perpetrated a hit-and-run in San Francisco in 2011. Storm 1516 has a long history of posting fake whistleblower videos and often deepfake videos to push Kremlin talking points to the West. The claims went viral on X last week when an anonymous account called The Black Insurrectionist posted screenshots of emails from a purported victim. And a few days after that, people were able to finally track down the real Matthew Metro, who'd made a video on, I can't fucking read today. And a few days after that, people were able to finally track down the real Matthew Metro, who made a video and put the final nail in this whole bullshit coffin.
I was a student at Mankato West High School in Minnesota. Well, I'm gay. And I realized this when I was 14 years old.
Oh, it's obviously not me. It's the teeth are different, the hair is different, the eyes are different, the nose is different, and the accent is definitely an off-throwing thing. I obviously don't have an foreign accent, so I don't know where they're getting this from.
So at this point, even douchebag Bill Ackman had to admit he had been pushing baseless lies to his millions of followers. Seems pretty clear that the alleged ABC whistleblower debate story claiming that Kamala was given questions in advance and other advantages was fake. And after finally being exposed as the bullshit artist he is, the Black Insurrectionist deleted his account and scurried back under whatever rock he crawled out from under. But not before the Associated Press was able to track down the man behind the account and expose what everybody had already suspected from the start. The Black Insurrectionist was actually a white guy. There's his ugly mug. The Black Insurrectionist was actually white. The deception didn't stop there. Last month, the account posted what Black Insurrectionist claimed was an affidavit from an ABC News employee alleging Harris was given questions in advance of the news network's debate with Trump, which ABC News vigorously disputed. Trump approved, though, declaring, "I love this person." Trump approved, though, declaring, "I love the person." More recently, Black Insurrectionist posted a baseless claim alleging inappropriate behavior between Walls and a student decades ago, a falsehood the U.S. intelligence officials said sprang from a Russian disinformation campaign. The reach that Black Insurrectionist account attained with assistance from Trump and his allies demonstrates the ease with which unverified information from dubious sources can metastasize online to shape public opinion. The speed and scale of disinformation has been an animating force in the presidential campaign, with the potential to affect the outcome in a close election. The Black Insurrectionist, who is linked directly to Jason G. Palmer, who has his own questionable backstory, starting with the fact that he isn't black, according to an Associated Press review of public records, open source data, and interviews with half a dozen people who interacted closely with Palmer over the past 2 decades. The records and personal accounts offer a portrait of an individual who has repeatedly been accused of defrauding business partners and lenders, has struggled with drug addiction, and whose home was raided by the FBI over a decade ago. He also owes more than $6.7 million in back taxes to the state of New York. He's far from African American, said Kathleen Albano, who said her deceased husband was involved in a failed business venture with Palmer. The AP traced the account to Palmer based on posts made by Black Insurrectionists that included biographical details about living in upstate New York, a screen name, and an email address. Those details cross-reference with information available online that the AP tracked down with assistance from Gisela Perez de Acha, an open-source reporting specialist for Human Rights Center at the University of California, Berkeley. A video posted in March by Black Insurrectionists shows a computer screen displaying the docket of Trump's election case in Georgia. His initials JP are visible in an icon on the web browser toolbar. And Palmer's email address can be seen in the corner of the screen, indicating that he used it to log into the state's online court system. The email address is linked to a phone number, according to open source data provider OSINT Industries, that is listed for Palmer in New York court records. The same email is also linked to a Skype account with the username JGPalmerRT. According to the open source data provider Epsos, Palmer's middle initial is G. So yeah, they got him dead to rights. But yeah, nobody's surprised that that guy turned out to not be black. What is it with Republicans always pretending to be black people online? Why are they always doing that? Anyway, next story here. Russell Brand's latest grift. So apparently, since nobody in Hollywood wants anything to do with him after racking up multiple rape and sexual assault accusations over the past couple years, Russell Brand has chosen to rebrand himself as a Trump-supporting right-wing grifter. Russell Brand is seen for the first time since being axed from his big money role in Despicable Me after rape and sexual assault accusations, or allegations. The troubling rebirth of Russell Brand. The controversial comedian has rebranded himself as a Trump-supporting Christian, but is it just a publicity stunt? Yup, sure is. Recognizing Trump supporters' cavalier attitude towards sexual assault and their propensity to piss away money on useless products of little or no value, this was naturally the next logical step in Brand's career. And last week, he unveiled his latest grift.
Hello, I'm just back from Narnia, where I had a holiday, Mr. Tumnus, Aslan, all those guys. And as you know, airports are places full of Wi-Fi and all sorts of evil energies. Think of all the phones out there, all of the signals, corruptible and corrupting. Luckily, I wear this magical amulet from Tech that keeps me safe from all of the various signals out there. And also means, look at this, look how strong I am. I think this is making me more powerful, as a matter of fact. Look at that. This stuff is absolutely packed with Tech. I didn't even bring any socks or toothbrush or dog meat or anything like that. Just completely full of Tech. You should get one as well, particularly if you're planning to go to an airport anytime soon, because the bloody things are full of lethal signals. Tech, a glorious amulet to protect you from corrupting signals.
That's right, now he's hawking magical hippie necklaces for $250 a pop. But as he states in the video, these are no ordinary $250 magical hippie necklaces. Oh no, these hippie necklaces contain a special amulet that will protect you from all the evil Soros-funded 5G invisible cancer-causing radio waves floating around these days. Yeah, so you can get two for $412. Wow, two useless hunks of shit. What a deal. That's a closer look at the thing there. Now, I must admit, as far as useless hunks of shit go, this is one of the prettier pieces I've seen being peddled. But like all right-wing grifts, this thing is absolutely useless and definitely costs way less than he's charging for it. I'm not sure why that's in European dollars, but screenshot must be from a European user. So what is it? Well, from the pictures, it appears to be just a mass-produced, likely made in China, little resin pendant. But why the hefty price tag? After all, you can find similar worthless resin pendants on Alibaba going for a little over $3 a pop. It looks like pretty much the same thing, don't it? Well, therein lies the first half of the grift. As a grifter, your first job is to find some dirt-cheap, mass-produced Chinese-made crap, give it a fancy name like the AirStack LifeTune 1, make up some bogus claim that it will protect your kids from catching evil airborne transgender furry cooties, and sell it to morons at a 900% markup. But the second half of the grift is where the real magic happens. Now that you have your useless Chinese crap, you need to figure out how to get people to think that it's worth the price. And for that, you'll need a grifter's favorite weapon, pseudoscience. You see, with real science, you ask a question, do background research, conduct a hypothesis, test with an experiment, and check that the procedure is working. And if it's not, you troubleshoot the procedure, carefully check all sets and setups, and test the experiment again. And if it is working, you analyze that data and draw conclusions. And if the results align with your hypothesis, you communicate those results. And if the results don't totally align with your hypothesis, you put experimental data becomes a basis for new future projects, ask new questions, and form a new hypothesis and run the experiment again. But with pseudoscience, you don't dare or want to ask any questions, and you conduct a model based on preconceived ideas. You find the data that fits the model, discard data that does not align with the model, and you trust the quote-unquote experts. Utilizing the power of pseudoscience, you can sell anything to anybody. Like, say, for example, selling sugar pills to morons that listen to your podcast by telling them it'll make your brain work better. Okay. Anyway, back to our magical hippie necklace. Apparently, the reason for the hefty price tag is because embedded within your cheap Chinese crap is a state-of-the-art silicon resonator chip that shields you from harmful EMF radiation emitted by 5G, cell phones, and other appliances. That's supposedly that thing there. This super scientific diagram of it working. But I know what you're thinking. If it's blocking all that evil Wi-Fi and whatnot, then how is it that the wireless mic on Brand's shirt is working in his little TikTok video? Amulet there, wireless microphone there. Seems to be working wonders there, Russell. Well, not to worry, the pseudoscience has an answer for that too, complete with a super scientific technical diagram. Moreover, the transformation does not affect the functioning of the technical devices generating the EM radiation. Non-coherent radiation, transformer, biological object, coherent radiation. Ah, well, that explains it perfectly. If you were to take a look at the Our Technology section of the website, you'll find a shit ton of links to PDFs jam-packed with textbook examples of how to scare people that don't know any better into believing that you know about something too complicated for them to understand. Yeah, there is an absolute mountain of bullshit on this website. It took me hours to get through it all. Our science, all these open up to like dozens of other PDFs. Other research. But if you actually click on any of those links, you'll be subjected to pages upon pages of over-technical word salad with a few ominous-looking graphs and diagrams sprinkled in for good measure. Oh, look what it's doing to your brain, guys. All that evil Wi-Fi and whatnot. You better buy this $250 hunk of shit. Such mechanical-like longitudinal wave diffusion is distinctional with ordinarily emitted electromagnetic waves and has a strong penetration capability into living tissue, blah 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 blah. It basically amounts to a written version of the Rockwell Retro Encabulator meme from the early 2000s, where a smart-looking guy shows you a machine and spits out so much technobabble bullshit that if you didn't know any better, you'd think it was a real machine and he was talking about something super complicated, but in reality, it's not a real thing at all and he's not actually saying anything.
The only new principle involved is that instead of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes, it's produced by the modial interaction of magnetoreluctance and capacitive diractance. The original machine had a base plate of prefamulated amulite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with a panametric fam. The lineup consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes, so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented. The main winding was of the normal Lotus-O deltoid type placed in panendermic semi-boloid slots of the stator. Every 7th conductor being connected by a non-reversible Tremi pipe to the differential girdle spring on the up end of the gram meters. Moreover, whenever fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be employed in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal depleneration.
Ah yes, the good old-fashioned dingle arm. And that's exactly what you're getting from the science behind Brand's little hippie necklaces. The sources cited are all a bunch of other hack grifters peddling their books and blogs filled with nonsense. Like Dr. Eldon Bird, who's described as a specialist in medical engineering and bioeffects, which basically means that he believes that diseases can be cured by just thinking about it extra hard. But nah, this Bird guy is super legit. After all, he's been doing lectures on mind control for decades now, and even been featured in such prestigious publications as a janky-looking blog called Mind Justice and the Terrorized Germany YouTube channel. Convinced yet? There's his blog. Looks super modern and up-to-date, doesn't it? And the Terrorized Germany YouTube channel with a whopping 1.6 thousand subscribers. Okay. But hey, what about the state-of-the-art silicon chip that's supposedly inside these things? If that's not real, then what's with this patent that they have featured on the website? Yeah, remember that? Whatever happened to that? They got a patent for it right there, don't they? Well, if you were to actually read that patent, and you managed to get through 30 or so pages of technobabble bullshit, you'd find that the patent isn't for any kind of technology at all. It's actually for the artwork. The claim, the ornamental design for an electromagnetic radiation converter as shown and described. But if you don't actually know how to read a patent, you just assume that they were talking about the actual device itself. Because they go into like 30 pages of rambling bullshit detail about what this thing supposedly does. But if you get to the last page, the actual claim that the patent is for the artwork. And to put the final nail in this bullshit coffin, a guy on YouTube actually tested one of these stupid things to see if they actually do anything, and well, you can probably guess how well that went.
This is a CPAP device. Really wonderful device if you suffer from sleep apnea, but did you know how much it gives off an electric field radiation? I'm going to bring in my meter, and I'll show you. It's high plus, extreme, 360. Anything below 10 is considered kind of healthy. Anything above that is considered unhealthy. Let me show you what happens when I bring in my shungite cell plate into the area. Drops below 10. Take it away, bring it in, 2.6. Now let's use the LifeTune device. This is about $120 Canadian. It's supposed to mitigate fields, mitigate radiation within, I think they said, a 9-foot radius. It literally does nothing.
And I'll leave a link to this guy's channel down below. He actually does a really good 20-minute breakdown of how these guys fake their research and patents to fool people that don't know any better. But yeah, long story short, a multi-millionaire celebrity is charging $250 for a $4 hunk of crap that doesn't actually do a damn thing. There's the guy's channel if you want to go. And a last-minute update to this story. Detectives are now asking prosecutors to consider bringing charges against Grifty Grifterson in relation to his alleged sex crimes. Russell Brand, detectives ask prosecutors to consider bringing charges. Hope they do. And our next story here. Bev Williams, criminal or victim? So a few weeks ago, a post went viral online from a woman named Bevelyn Beatty Williams, who claimed that she was being sentenced to 3 years in prison by the Biden-Harris administration for unlawful assembly. Although she conveniently didn't provide any additional information, she did include a video of her husband parroting her claims that she's only being locked up because of Biden and Harris. The Biden/Harris administration has made my husband a single father today. I am on my way to turn myself into federal prison, where I am scheduled to serve 3 years in federal prison for unlawful assembly. Share this and make mothers and fathers of this nation aware of what's going on. Hooty hooty hoo.
So right now, I'm about to drive my wife to a federal facility. She has to surrender herself there, and this is due to the Harris-Biden administration. And any husband in this country, anyone that's married knows, any mother, any father knows that separation from your loved one, separation from a mother and a daughter at 2 years old is traumatic, and no American citizen should have to experience this in this country.
Well, then you shouldn't commit crimes, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. The post quickly garnered attention online, where people were outraged at the evil Biden-Harris administration for swooping in and locking up this poor mother that was just standing around minding her own business. Attention Americans, Kamala Harris's DOJ is sending a black woman to prison for 3.5 years for peacefully protesting outside an abortion clinic. Gotta love how it was Biden's DOJ when he was running, and then when Kamala's running, it's now Kamala's DOJ. But as you can probably guess, there's more to this story, so let's take a closer look and see what actually happened, shall we? First of all, Williams is an anti-abortion activist who seems to get her kicks out of filming herself harassing the staff of, First of all, Williams is an anti-abortion activist who seems to get her kicks out of filming herself harassing the staff at abortion clinics and posting the videos online. Anti-abortion activist sentenced to 41 months in jail for obstructing access to customers. She also has quite the rap sheet, with arrests dating back to 2009, with one in April of 2010 for felony larceny, and another a few months later for assault with a deadly weapon. Felony larceny, more than $1,000. Gotta love her apologetic face there. Yeah, she seems really remorseful. And then assault with a deadly weapon. Cutting. Classy gal. But that was 14 years ago, and people are capable of changing, right? I'm sure she's a perfectly calm, reasonable member of society these days. Tell you what, how about we take a peek at what she's been doing a bit more recently to get a better sense of where her head's at.
Refund the police! Refund the police! Fuck you! Refund the police! Fuck devil! Devil! Refund the police! 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 Jesus matters! Jesus matters! We will never support Black Lives Matter! We will never support it! We will never support it! We will never support it!
Well, she seems nice. I'm starting to think this has less to do with the Biden administration and more to do with her charming personality. Oh yeah, and by the way, the stunt that landed her in prison, this prison sentence happened in 2020 during Trump's administration, not Biden's. She's also been arrested again since then for blocking access to yet another abortion clinic in Nashville. 4 arrested at Nashville Planned Parenthood Clinic. Authorities charged Ricky Williams, Bevelyn Williams, Edmee Chavanez, and Bree Kroom. 3 of them were physically arrested at the property, except for Kroom, who was arrested by citation as she had her infant child with her at the time. It's starting to seem like old Bev and her hubby aren't the innocent victims of a weaponized justice system like they're making themselves out to be. But repeating that little narrative on right-wing propaganda podcasts like InfoWars sure has helped them line their pockets with a give, send, go they set up, raking in almost $300,000.
Any activist groups tried to support your cause?
No, other than your, LifeSite News, other than the news groups that have been.
Support Bevelyn B.D. Williams' Fight for Freedom. Goal, $300,000. Raise, $290,000. So let's take a look at what she actually did that finally landed her behind bars for the next 3.5 years. Statement from the United States Attorney's Office. According to evidence admitted at trial and other public filings and statements made in court, on June 19, 2020 and June 20, 2020, Williams threatened to use force against patients and staff members at a reproductive health center located in Lower Manhattan, the health center, and blocked patients and staff members from accessing the health center. In one instance, as captured on video, Williams pressed her body against the door of the health center's patient's entrance and refused to move, preventing a health center volunteer from entering the center. As a health center staff member, victim one, never a good sign when somebody's identified as victim in court filing, attempted to open the door for the volunteer. Williams purposely leaned against the door, crushing victim one's hand. Victim one yelled, "She's crushing my hand," but Williams remained against the door, trapping victim one's hand and injuring it. Williams live-streamed some of her conduct on June 19th and June 20th, 2020 on social media account. On the live stream on June 19th, 2020, Williams stood within inches of the health center's chief administrative officer and threatened to terrorize this place and warned that we're going to terrorize you so good your business is going to be over, mama. Similarly, Williams stood within inches of a health center security officer and threatened war. Williams also stated that she would act by any means necessary. In addition, Williams' conduct in Manhattan on multiple other occasions from at least 2019 to 2022, Williams and others intimidated and interfered with individuals seeking to obtain or provide reproductive health services at other health clinics across the country, including in Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, and Brooklyn, New York. For example, in January 2022, Williams traveled to a health center in Fort Myers, Florida, where she directed other individuals to block health center entrances. As a result of the blockade, medical staff was delayed in treating at least a dozen patients, 3 of whom were scheduled for time-sensitive procedures that could have resulted in bleeding, infection, or significant pain without timely treatment. In addition, in July 2022, Williams invaded a health center in Atlanta, Georgia, where she screamed through the door at patients attempting to enter the facility until they were forced to leave. Among other things, Williams shouted that she'd go to jail before letting patients enter the facility for an abortion, and that she was not afraid to get arrested. Having regrets, are we? Kinda convenient that her hubby neglected to mention any of those details in his little video. There she is, acting all calm and cool while being arrested. So it turns out that this isn't a case of the Biden administration picking on an innocent black mother. It's actually just a repeat offender who has repeatedly used violence and intimidation to force her own beliefs onto other people, finally getting held accountable for her actions. Literal fuck around and find out meme. And our last story here, Elon Epstein and X. So last week, Trump's latest mistress, Elon Musk, had the audacity to unironically post this stupid meme implying that all the celebrities endorsing Kamala Harris also appear on Epstein and Diddy's guest list, and then repeated the bullshit theory on stage at a Trump rally. Epstein guest list, Diddy guest list, all the celebrities coming out to support Kamala Harris.
You know, interesting to see the crossover between the Epstein client list and Kamala's puppet masters.
Where's the rest of this? Oh yeah, that's fuck, did I not type out anything for this? Okay. Well, that's despite the fact that both Trump and no. Okay, god damn it, why the fuck do I have this not typed out properly? Okay. Well, that's despite the fact that Trump has literally more photos of himself with Epstein and Diddy than he does with his own children. And speaking of Epstein, don't you find it kind of convenient how Republicans were absolutely obsessed with getting their hands on the Epstein flight logs right up until they found out that Trump's name was on there 7 times? And then he regularly left Epstein early morning important messages? But I mean, come on, who among us hasn't left a few early morning messages to our local sex trafficker? There he is, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, all over those flight logs. A whole 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And his messages, some at like 5 o'clock in the morning, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. and Epstein's little black book. Donald Trump. All the other names are blacked out. And it's kind of hard for them to claim that they were just business associates, since in a recently released audio recording of Epstein giving a reporter dirt on Trump, he admits that he was Donald's best friend for 10 years.
So how do you know this? Donald's closest friend. 10 years.
Ghislaine Maxwell says Jeffrey Epstein recorded Trump with his victims.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
What does Tiffany have of Marla's?
She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey. He admired Epstein's lifestyle.
But before we stray too far away from Elon Musk being his usual hypocritical self, guess who else has been all buddy-buddy with both Epstein and Diddy? That's right, the muskrat himself, famously being pictured with Epstein's girlfriend and recruiter, Ghislaine Maxwell, and on another occasion, one of Musk's interns managed to snap a picture of an email on Musk's computer from Epstein asking if Musk was able to meet up with Ghislaine for quote-unquote kung fu practice. There they are, looking all chummy. Where is it there? Well, Elon, were you able to meet up with Ghislaine at Kung Fu practice on Saturday? Jeff, I did. Thank you, smiley face. And apparently, Epstein had so many meetings with Musk that Epstein's victims wanted to take a look at his business records, which Musk tried to hide from them, eventually being overturned by a judge who allowed the subpoena to go forward last May. Exclusive. Jeffrey Epstein boasted about a 2012 lunch meeting with Elon Musk that took place after the registered sex offender served a year in jail for procuring underage girls for prostitution. Elon Musk's subpoena in Epstein JP Morgan lawsuit can be served to Tesla, judge rules. May 17th, 2023. But the hypocrisy doesn't end there, because old Elon was also pals with Diddy too, once describing him as a good friend and bragging that, quote, we text a lot. And when the list of investors who helped Musk buy Twitter was revealed, guess who was right at the tippy top of the list? That's right, his bestest bud Diddy. Elon Musk described Diddy as a good friend. In private, we text a lot. Elon Musk boasted about Diddy friendship in private after the rapper invested in X. We text a lot. There they are at an event of some kind. Sean Diddy Combs revealed to be among X investors in Elon Musk's X launch. Diddy among investors behind Elon Musk's $44 billion Twitter takeover. Diddy has been revealed to be one of the silent investors behind Elon Musk's $44 billion acquisition of Twitter. According to TMZ, Puff invested north of $10 million to have a seat at the table when it comes to the direction of the social media platform. But Republicans projecting their own BS onto everybody else is nothing new. But what is new is Musk's bizarre claim that if Trump gets back into office, he'll release the Epstein client list. Whoa, Elon said that a lot of billionaires are supporting Kamala because they're afraid of Trump releasing the Epstein client list.
You know, I think part of why Kamala's getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public. And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
Yeah, what about you? Even by Elon Sanders, this is a particularly stupid theory, especially considering that 1, Trump's name is definitely all over that list, and 2, Trump was already president when Epstein was arrested and quote-unquote killed himself in jail, and yet Trump never released a damn thing and even did his best to sweep the whole thing under the rug. Something highlighted by the way he answered when a Fox host asked him what he'd be willing to declassify if he got back into office.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would
I
you,
did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Uh-huh. Notice how quickly he answered the first 2 questions? Unsealed flight logs show that Trump was on Epstein's private jet in 1997. What were you doing there, Donnie? So it kind of seems like this chart is the one that Musk should be posting. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Jeffrey Maxwell Diddy. That seems a lot more accurate. Oh, and another little fun fact about that chart. Captain Free Speech threatened to suspend the account that originally posted it. Crybaby Elon Musk is threatening to suspend my account for posting this picture. Violation related to your post published below. Following a thorough review, our team has confirmed the validity of this claim. As a result, your account is at risk of suspension if we do not receive an appeal from you written within the next 48 hours. Yeah, gotta love all that free speech. Which isn't surprising to anybody that's actually been paying attention since Musk took over Twitter. Musk is absolutely not a free speech absolutist. The self-proclaimed free speech absolutist has made plenty of exceptions in the past. Gee, guess what Twitter just did to accounts critical of Elon Musk? The number of account suspensions has quadrupled since he took over 2 years ago. Elon Musk talks a lot about free speech, but account suspensions on X have skyrocketed. Under Musk's leadership, X has suspended over 4 times as many accounts in the first half of 2024, 5.3 million as Twitter ever did during similar periods. According to its transparency reports at the time, Twitter suspended almost 873,000 accounts in the last half of 2019. Gotta love all that free speech, huh? And he's complied with almost every request for censorship or surveillance from the authoritarian governments like India and Turkey. Elon Musk criticizes censorship, but his X grants more government requests than Twitter did. His social media platform took action on 71% of legal requests between January and June, according to a new report. Twitter has complied with almost every government request for censorship since Musk took over. The new numbers mark a steep increase from the 6 months before Musk bought the company, when Twitter fully complied with 280 out of 550 requests. About 51% of requests were fully complied with, compared to 83% while Musk headed the firm. But the phony free speech aficionado's love of censorship doesn't stop there. He regularly bans accounts of anybody critical of him. Gee, guess what Twitter just did to accounts critical of Elon Musk? X, formerly known as Twitter, on Tuesday temporarily suspended accounts of multiple prominent journalists and left-leaning commentators and comedians, many of whom were critical of X owner Elon Musk. This is at least the 5th time that X, under Musk, has purged accounts that are the slightest bit critical of him, his friends, or causes he supports. Shortly after taking the social network's reins in October 2022, the self-proclaimed free speech absolutist banned the accounts of multiple actors and comedians who made fun of him. And much like his choice of political candidate, Musk also likes to force himself onto people that want nothing to do with him. As demonstrated when he threatened to fire Twitter engineers if they didn't tweak the algorithm to boost his post to everyone on the site after discovering that Joe Biden's Super Bowl post had gotten more views than his. Yes, Elon Musk created a special system for showing you all his tweets first. After his Super Bowl tweet did worse numbers than President Biden's. At 2:36 on Monday morning, James Musk sent an urgent message to Twitter engineers. "We are debugging an issue with engagement across platforms," wrote Musk, a cousin of the Twitter CEO, tagging @here in Slack to ensure that everyone would see it. Any people who can make dashboards or write software, please can you help solve this problem? This is high urgency. If you are willing to help out, please thumbs up this post. When bleary-eyed engineers began to log onto their laptops, the nature of the emergency became clear. Elon Musk's tweet about the Super Bowl got less engagement than President Joe Biden's. After Musk threatened to fire his remaining engineers, they built a system designed to ensure that Musk, and Musk alone, benefits from previously unheard of promotion of his tweets to the entire user base. But that wasn't the only political alteration to the site that people didn't see coming. Almost immediately after Musk's takeover, all the most prominent Democrat accounts started seeing noticeable dips in their follower view counts, while at the same time, their Republican counterparts saw massive increases in their followings and engagements. Elon Musk has made X more right-leaning, study shows. Many more Republicans agree X is mostly good for democracy. Musk has courted right-leaning politicians' leaders on X. High-profile Republicans gain followers in first weeks of Musk's reign. The red are the Republicans, and take a look at where the Democrats are. Subtle. Republican followings have skyrocketed, few Democrats have. Literally only one account even coming close to the same level of engagement. Congressional Democrats get fewer tweets viewed over 20 million times than Republicans do. 2023, 2024, July to October 2024. Only a slight increase. And ever since making his turn to the dork side, Musk has now started working with the Trump campaign to suppress anything that may be damaging to Trump before the election. Musk's X censors coverage of Trump's Arlington incident, citing potential spam. Trump campaign worked with Musk's X to keep leaked J.D. Vance file off platform. Elon Musk's X has reportedly worked with the Trump campaign to censor material that could be harmful to the former president's White House chances as part of a pattern of election interference that is unprecedented in U.S. history. This is wild. Elon suspends Ken Klippenstein for linking to the J.D. Vance dossier, saying it counts as doxing. It comes out that Trump personally asked Elon to ban Ken. Elon, embarrassed, reinstates Ken. Ken's same link to the dossier still up. It was never about doxing. Elon Musk personally intervened to have my suspension lifted following reporting that X coordinated with the Trump campaign to kill my J.D. Vance article. And when I say he's been censoring anything that may be damaging to Trump, I really do mean anything. With users posting screenshots showing that they've had their account suspended just for making jokes about the former president. This violates Twitter's users against violent speech. If Donald Trump ran into a wall with a full erection, he'd break his nose. Must remove your post or get a 1-week suspension. Keep in mind, this is the same guy that considers this to be a perfectly acceptable joke to post to about the current president and vice president. And no one is trying to assassinate Biden and Kamala. And apparently, the wannabe comedian finds it so funny that he's repeated it multiple times, including at a rally at a church. Elon Musk jokes in a church about someone killing Kamala Harris.
Which is like nobody's even bothering to try to kill Kamala because it's pointless. What do you achieve? Nothing.
No, it's totally
just find
right.
another puppet.
Exactly. That's
it's no.
It's so funny. So since this dipshit clearly doesn't give a rat's ass about free speech, and considering most of his net worth is tied up in Tesla stock, and Trump has a well-documented hatred of electric cars, it begs the question, is Musk only backing Trump to stay out of prison?
if he loses, man, what?
You're fucked, dude. I'm fucked. If he loses, I'm fucked.
Did you know Elon Musk was subpoenaed in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case? Did you know Diddy helped Elon purchase Twitter? Did you know Elon was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell, who pimped out little girls? Elon is trying to buy the presidency to stay out of prison. Or is Elon trying to buy the presidency? Yeah, he is. Spoiler alert. And that wraps up the news stories that I have been working on for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, starting next week, we'll be doing live streams at 11 p.m. since the internet needs to, work a little bit better, or seems to work a little better at 11. And, I don't know, I can't seem to ever get here on time when I have it scheduled for 8 o'clock. So hopefully with an extra 3 hours to, prepare and test out and make sure everything's working, I'll hopefully be able to get here on time. So, sorry to anybody that's unable to make it a little bit later, but gotta do what you gotta do. And yeah, so keep on sending in the emails. I'm gonna get to them. The backlogged ones will all be read. The ones that aren't completely fucking retarded. But yeah, we're going to be reading those on the chilling live streams, the ones where I'm just hanging out and looking at random stuff. Just because, it's weird kind of bouncing back and forth between news and just seeing what you guys are thinking. So yeah, we'll do those on the, slow news days and the days where we're just hanging out. So let me know what you guys think about whatever the hell you want to talk about, your thoughts and opinions on life, politics, the world, whatever. Send in your emails and we'll get to those next week. No live stream tomorrow since it's the weekend, and yeah, we'll be doing live streams every weekday at 11 p.m. starting next week. All right? You guys have a good weekend.